Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Do you ever get really hard on yourself and you beat yourself up for something you said or something you did, and then you feel really down because you've beat yourself up, because you've been reading and learning about how important it is to accept yourself and receive yourself, and then here you are in this cycle of spiraling deeper and deeper down into this space of self-loathing, and then you beat yourself up and hate yourself for hating yourself? Do you ever make yourself feel really bad about struggling with where you are, or maybe with your body, maybe with aging, maybe with your self-esteem, maybe with where you are in your career, maybe with how you are being as a parent, and then you beat yourself up for feeling like crap about yourself and about where you are, because you know that there are people in the world who really suffer. There are people that are under attacks by military. There are people that are held hostages in really hostile environment. There are people that are going through a lot, and here you are struggling with yourself, and then you feel even more like crap about yourself. So hi, welcome. I'm Hagar, and this is Mama Mandala, which is a space to embrace the fullness of who we are and all the and the wide variety of the cycles that we go through, and the diversity of our experience as a human being and in a more than human world. So welcome, I'm glad you're here. And this practice here today is for you to come back to whenever you need to readjust how you're being with yourself in a way that allows you to be with yourself exactly where you are. So this is an opportunity for yourself to make room for how you're actually feeling and what is actually moving through you, even if it's self-beating and self-loathing. You make space for it. We're going to soften around it a little bit, make room for it, and then discipline ourselves to enter a conversation with ourselves that is helpful, that takes us maybe, I'm feeling like it's like when I feel that way, when I beat myself up a lot, I feel like I'm under the ground, and it's really an interesting place to be. And I allow myself underground journeys. And then when I'm ready to lift myself up, sometimes it feels like, oh, it's great effort of climbing back up. So we're going to strengthen ourselves to be able to lift ourselves back up, but in a way that respects and makes room for exactly where we are. So go ahead and bring yourself into child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch and take your knees wide apart. You move your torso a little bit side to side. So already you're bringing a breath of movement and a willingness to move with and move around and move through, and let yourself be moved by what is going on in yourself and in your life, in your inner world and in the world around you. Place your forehead on the ground so that this center of energy in your system that is considered to be the third eye is rooted into the floor, so that you can see yourself in a broad way, from the depth of the earth, from the ground of your being, all the way through the space around you and the space beyond you. And invite your breath to enter the space that you are in, and invite yourself to enter the breath as it pours in and out of you, in and out of your lungs, touching the plant world around you, and touching the depth of your heart within you. Breathe slowly, deeply in, and slowly, mindfully out, to be with yourself, to be in the world. Slowly transition to all fours, to your hands and your knees, as you spread your fingers and root the hands deeply into the ground. Separate your knees or bring them closer together so that they're as wide as your hips, and move your hips a little bit side to side as you ground your hands into the earth. Particularly root through the inner edges of your hands as you move your hips side to side. Bring a tone to the back of your throat, so you start to breathe Ujjayi breath. Make the breath sound a little bit like a whisper as you breathe in. And like a sigh as you breathe out. And you can practice it with your mouth open on your exhalation. So inhale the breath in as you take your hips back now and your chest forward with a resonant sound, with a tone in the back of the throat. And then with your exhalation, open your mouth and make that whispering sound as you round your back and look in towards your navel. If you're very familiar with the Ujjayi breath, you can do that with mouth closed. Inhale, take your hips back and your chest forward and make that resonant sound as you breathe in through the nose. And if you need to, you can open your mouth again as you round your back and exhale. And one more time. Through the tone in the back of the throat with a resonant sound. Inhale and reach your hips back and your chest forward. And this time, keep your mouth closed as you exhale and make that whispery sound. As you round your back and look in towards your navel. Bring your spine to the space between rounding and arching with your inhalation. And as you go down through your hands, exhale, lift your knees up and off of the floor, hips up and back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And if you need to not put weight on your hands right now, you're struggling with something in your body, in your system, and that's too much weight, you can either bring your knees back down to the floor, or you can have your hands on a wall or on a table or on a chair, something in front of you that you can hold on to so that you don't put a lot of weight on your hands. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself exactly where you are. Inhale through the tone in the back of the throat, lift your right leg up. And exhale, step your foot forward outside of your right hand and bring your left knee down to the floor. And as you breathe in and out through the tone in the back of the throat here, draw the right leg in towards the right upper arm and push the right upper arm into the leg, and draw your right heel toward your left knee and draw your left knee energetically, isometrically forward towards your right heel, so that everything in you right now is drawing in towards the center, creating a strength and a container so that you can be with the entirety of what's flowing through you. And even the way that you breathe in and out through the back of the throat, that tone, that engagement creates a way for you to participate in the flow of life, to participate in the rhythm and in the stream of experiences, receiving it, but also then directing it. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You can direct the flow, but you're also here to receive it, to ask maybe, what can I learn from this downward spiral that I'm on? What can I receive from this experience that can be informative, that can be helpful, that can be educational, that can make me maybe a more compassionate being toward others? Deep breath in, keep the strength, reach your chest forward, and then exhale up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. The hands are rooted into the earth, and maybe they are on a wall or on a chair or on a table, and something to support you. Inhale the left leg up. Root your hands down deeply into the earth. No part of your hand is lifted. Exhale, bring your left foot outside of your left hand and bring your right knee down to the floor as you pull your chest forward. Breathe deep. If something in your body wants to move a little bit, welcome it. follow the lead of your body. Follow what it's telling you it needs. And also create that engagement, that strength. So your right knee pulls forward towards your left heel draws back, the left leg draws towards the center into the left arm, and the left arm pushes back into it. And here you are, a vessel that life can pour into from the outside and also through the inside, that the experiences that you're having internally and externally have room to work themselves out, to work themselves through. And you are here being with yourself, being with the world, being with the beauty and the difficulty, the lessons and the struggles, the joys that want to pull and push their way in. Make room for that too. We don't have to constantly be in the suffering, right? But both end, all of it, the entirety of it, the whole of who we are and what life has to offer us. Deep breath in. Press your hands down as you exhale, up and back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hands are rooted, hips are high, heels draw down towards the earth. Right leg up deep, inhale. Exhale, bring your right hand outside of your, right foot outside of your right hand again. And this time, keep your left knee lifted and bring your forearms down to the ground, down to the earth. If that's too much, you can put your left knee down. If that's still too much, bring a stool or something you can place your forearms on so that you're a little bit more elevated. You can also, if that's also too much, you can put your forearms on a chair or on a couch. So again, make room for what your body is telling you, for what your life is telling you, for what your needs are, for what is actually going on inside of you. Make room for it. Even make room for the inner conversation that you feel badly about. Make room for it and then see where you can take it, where you can direct it in a way that is not being more down on yourself. Deep breath in, reach your chest forward, and now exhale. Step your right foot to meet your left foot, plank on your forearms. Hello. If that's too much, knees on the floor. Okay, if that's still too much, you really can't work your core in this way, that's okay. You can put your knees on the floor, you can reach your hips back, you can take a few breaths in a break. Breathe slowly as you push your heels back and pull your chest forward. Draw the front of your hip bones towards each other. Draw the sides of the ribs towards the center. Keep your heels pushing back and your chest pulling forward. Careful not to let your hips drop or your hips lift. So it's plank on the forearms, right? Deep breath in. I hope I'm doing it. Exhale. Bring your hips down. Point your feet. Spread your toes. Root down through your toenails and pull your chest forward and up. Sphinx pose. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Bring your hands, interlace your fingers so that your elbows are still wide, and root down through. My bracelet is not the right one for the situation. Root down through the wrists. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees up off the floor and walk your feet forward. Dolphin pose. Breathe slowly in. Now, if this is too much, again, you can always put your forearms on a couch or on a chair or on whatever it is that you have available there, and still interlacing the fingers, root down through the wrists. Woo, big fire truck outside. Okay, so if you need to do this, that's totally fine. Be where you are. Make room for where you are to be an opportunity to be with yourself in a kind way, particularly in the moments where you feel really not kind toward yourself. Now separate your feet a little bit wider and then bring yourself up to your fingertips or your hands as you bend your knees and reach your hips back. Move your hips a little bit side to side and start to snuggle your torso in the space between your thighs. So you are in Malasana, and if Malasana is too much, you can put a block or a bunch of books or maybe a stool underneath your hips to support yourself. Arms are on the inside, hands in front of your heart, and legs pull into the arms. As the arms push into the legs, there's an embrace. There's a creation of connection to the whole of you. Every part connects to the other part as much as it can, leaning in to the parts of you. Even the parts of you that feel like they're drowning you, lean into it. What's the lesson here? What's the message here? What do I need to learn from this experience, from this conversation that is challenging me? Can I become, through this experience, a person who's more reliable with myself and with others? Can I become, through this experience, a person who is more understanding toward others and toward myself? Put your hands down, reach your hips up. Now, you have a choice here. You can just walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana, forward bend, or you can play a little bit with jumping. Just a few jumps up and down through the hands. Get your hands deeply grounded as you hop yourself a few hops if you'd like, because it's playful and it's strengthening at the same time. Now you see my knees stay close to my chest, to my ribs, as I jump up and down. My knees are bent and my knees are close to my chest. And then when you're ready, Uttanasana, forward bend. I lost some of my clothes on the way. So fall forward into Uttanasana, forward bend. Breathe in slowly. You can hold on to your elbows with your hands and take a moment here to be with yourself. Ground into the front of your feet, the balls of your feet. Drag energetically, isometrically your heels back as you allow the crown of your head to release towards the earth. Inhale, look forward, halfway up. And exhale, step your left foot back, bring your left knee to the floor, and we're going to lift the arms up to the sky. You can put something underneath your left knee if your knee is really sensitive and the floor is really hard for you. So inhale, reach your arms up, but remember the strength that we've cultivated in the core of our being when we were on the forearms in plank. Cultivate that strength. Remember that strength in your body right now. Draw the front of the hip bones towards each other. Draw the sides of the ribs towards the center of your belly as you reach your arms up to the sky. As you bend deep into the right knee, breathe deeply. As you open up through the chest, maybe even lean back, but keep that engagement in your abdominal region, in your core. Be rooted in your core through the turmoils of the inner conversation and the challenges of the world. Deep breath in. Exhale, touch the floor and step back. Downward facing dog. Hands are rooted into the earth. Deep groundedness in the hands. Inhale to plank position. Root down through your hands deeply. Don't let your hands lift. Exhale. Lower your hips down. Broaden through your collarbones as you push your toenails down. Point your feet. Lift up through your chest. Deep breath in. Lengthen your neck. And exhale. Tuck your toes. Stretch up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale. Bring your left foot outside of your left hand. Bring your forearms down to the ground or down on a couch or on a chair or on a stool or whatever you need, whatever you have. Treat yourself with the kindness that you need, that you wish others treated you with. Reach your heels back. Reach your chest forward and breathe deeply. Show up with the support that you need for the experience that you have, for what's going on for you. If you feel like shit about maybe not accomplishing as much as you wanted to, as much as you needed to, as much as you think is necessary, as much as the world is demanding of you. But what you haven't accomplished it because there are other needs in your system. Show up to your needs so that you can show up to other needs. Deep breath in. Exhale, step your left foot back to meet your right. Oh my goodness, plank on the forearms. Pull the elbows back. Reach your chest forward. Reach your heels back and breathe. This is not easy, but it's strengthening your core. It's bringing you to the center of your being, to the core of who you are, so that you can deal with and breathe with and be with all that's going through you, all that's happening in your life, all that's going on in the world. You're a strong vessel. You're rooted in your core. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower your hips down. Lift your chest forward and up. Sphinx pose. And you heard my voice. It was shaking because being rooted in our core doesn't mean there's an unshakable presence. It's shakeable, it's changeable, it's mutable, it's the kind of heat that transforms you. And here you are, you're being with it, rooted into your strength, not through the demand of being unshakable, but with the receptivity of the vulnerability. Deep breath in. Exhale, interlace your fingers, lift your knees up off the floor, root down through your wrists and walk your feet forward. Dolphin pose. Again, put your forearms, your wrists on something that supports if that's what you need. Listen to your needs. You're still strengthening yourself, but with deep respect to what your body is asking of. Ground through your wrists and lift. Take your armpits a little bit towards your wrists and lift your hips up high as you take your chest gently towards your thighs and breathe. And separate your feet a little bit wider. Bend your knees. Take yourself off of your forearms a little bit to your hands, maybe fingertips. Move the hips a little side to side. I love keeping my hands forward like that so that I can take my time and lean back into it. It's a little animalistic, which feels really good. And then lower your hips down. And again, put something underneath you. If you need a block underneath your hips, if you need a stool, put it there. Put what you need in order to support. But if it feels great like this, stay right here with me. Hands in front of your heart, legs draw into your arms. Arms push into the legs. Parts of you leaning into each other. Learning how to be the whole of yourself. And the wholeness of our being includes brokenness. It includes pieces that feel like they don't work together. It includes friction. It includes struggle. That's something we're making room for. It's a part of being in the world. It's a part of life. And struggles often make us grow. We just don't want to get addicted to the struggle because we think it's the only thing that's going to make us grow. Nurturance and nourishment and softness also help us grow. And we need both. So that's why we connect to the whole of our being, to every part. We lean into all the parts working together to create a supportive system. And then place your hands down. Ground your hands into the earth. And once again, you can walk your feet forward and hang out in Uttanasana and forward bend. Or, if you're feeling frisky, hands are rooted. And we're going to hopsidoo. Hopski-bopski. Your feet will slowly lift up off the floor. Spread your toes. Make your legs strong. There's still that drawing into the center and pushing out of the center happening in the arm, in the legs, even though they're not touching each other. The knees go towards the chest as the heels go towards the hips, just to practice little core strengthening hops. And then we meet in Uttanasana, fold forward. Slow breath. Fix the wardrobe as needed. And breathe. Put your hands on your elbows so that you can Allow your spine to elongate, the balls of your feet grounded, energetic to pull your heels back for strength. Fingertips to the earth. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your right foot back, right knee down to the floor. Recollect that strength in the core, that connection inside, that's in that centering quality as you lift yourself up. And again, fix wardrobe as needed. Arms up to the sky. Right knee energetically forward, left heel energetically back. So again, that cohesion, that connection. As you reach your arms up, as you broaden through your chest, also broaden through your back. As you open through your heart, strengthen through your belly. Lift the upper body up. Deep breath in as you ground deeply into the legs. Exhale, touch the floor and step back. Downward facing dog. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Bring your knees down to the earth. Bring your big toes to touch. Knees wide apart. And again, take your upper body a little side to side. A little dance. A little gentle movement like that. Forehead to the earth. Breath deep and full. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Slowly bring yourself to lie on your back. I have a sneeze and a cough. Oh my goodness. Separate your feet as wide as you might. Open the arms out to the sides. With an exhalation, take your knees to the right. Just a gentle twist on your back to let your body receive the message right now that it's being held, that it can start to relax. You can always put something under your knees, under your knees, if you need more support. Inhale your knees back to center. And exhale, drop your knees to the left, turn your chest to the right. Breathe slowly. Make space for being where you are, which includes in it where you are and how you are keeps changing. So sometimes we're in that downward spiral moment, and then we feel fine, but we forget that we feel fine because we're in the downward spiral moment. What do you mean we're feeling fine? And we take ourselves further down. But if you notice those moments where the inside of your being and your relationship with the world actually offers you a break, a moment out of the mud, receive it. Inhale back to center. And then bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. And then sometimes we feel like shit again. And then we make space for that, but we let it change. We let it be authentically what it is. It's never exactly the same unless we cling onto it. So make room for it to be what it is, but also move through. And then relax your body. Let it release to the earth. Let yourself relax here for a few minutes. And when you're done relaxing, if you like this video, put a like on it. If you enjoyed this practice, subscribe to our channel because more will come your way. Share it with your friends. And subscribe to our mailing list over on mamamandala.com. I'm going to leave a link for you in the description of the video. There's a course coming up that will help us, train us, ground us in our being, strengthen us so that we can unleash our power in a responsible and a respectful way. And that's coming up really soon. So subscribe to the mailing list and get all the info when it's ready to come your way. And have a beautiful rest of your day. Make room for yourself and for others. Mwah. Namaste, dear one. Namaste.